I was halfway to my front porch with a mug of instant coffee and exactly 3 hours of sleep in my system when I saw a bear. Not a metaphor, a real, actual bear on my porch, crying. And because I clearly enjoy poor life decisions, I didn't run. I stared. That's when I saw she wasn't alone. Hanging from her mouth like a sad little teddy bear gone through a blender was a cub, limp, still, possibly dead. Okay, I thought, so this is how I die, but at least it's original. I should have slammed the door. That's what any sensible person would do when a 300-pound bear decides to get emotional on your porch. But instead, I just stood there like a confused scarecrow in slippers, holding a coffee mug like it was going to save me. The bear didn't move, didn't growl, just stared, eyes wet, breathing heavy. Her fur looked like she'd wrestled a hurricane and lost. Then she laid the cub down, gently, like she was hoping I had a veterinary license hidden under my pajama top, and I swear, for a split second, we understood each other. "You're the idiot in charge now," her eyes seemed to say. Fantastic. I don't know what came over me, guilt, instinct, or the caffeine finally kicking in, but I dropped to my knees like I was auditioning for some kind of survivalist soap opera. The cub wasn't just still. He was limp in a way that made my stomach clench. His fur was matted with dried blood, one paw twisted at a weird angle, and his ribs were sticking out like a Halloween skeleton costume gone wrong. His ear looked like it had lost a fight with something far meaner than gravity. I glanced up at the mother again. She hadn't moved, still watching me like some furry spiritual judge. No growling, no pacing, just that horrible, soul-piercing kind of stare that said, "I've done all I can. Your turn." "Right," I whispered. No pressure. I pulled off my flannel shirt, which had seen better centuries, and wrapped it around the cub like a makeshift blanket. His body was cold. Not, "Oh, it's chilly cold," the kind that made you wonder how long he'd been like this, the kind that made hope feel like a bad joke. I moved slowly, inching backward toward the door, half expecting the bear to launch at me the second I crossed the threshold. But no. She just sat down, planted herself like a furry mountain, eyes locked on me like a mom waiting outside the OR. It wasn't just weird anymore. It was biblical. Inside, I dumped the cub onto the couch, carefully, but with the grace of a man who once Googled how to stop a nosebleed and called it medical training. I turned the thermostat up like I was trying to roast a chicken, grabbed towels, water, and whatever vaguely first aid-ish items I could find. The cub wasn't dead, yet, but he wasn't exactly bursting with signs of life either. Outside, the bear hadn't budged, still staring, still waiting, possibly judging my interior decorating. I stood there holding this fragile, battered fuzzball in a shirt older than TikTok, wondering what kind of lunatic I'd become. And then I said the stupidest thing I've ever said to a wild animal. "Hang in there, buddy. I think I saw a vet show on Netflix once." I peeked through the curtain like a nosy neighbor in a horror movie. She was still there, the mother, sitting like some ancient sentinel, massive, silent, and weirdly patient. She didn't pace, didn't roar, just watched. The way she looked at the house, it wasn't random. It was like she knew this was the place, like she'd thought it through. Meanwhile, I was Googling "Can bears cry" on one phone and dialing the local vet with the other. "Rachel? Yeah. It's me, Aiden. Listen, this is going to sound insane, but I have a wounded bear cub in my house, and his mother might be live streaming it from my porch." Silence. Then, "Aiden, have you been drinking?" I stared down at the tiny, barely breathing fuzzball on my couch. "Not yet," I said, "but check back in 5 minutes." Rachel finally snapped out of her disbelief and gave me instructions like I was about to deliver a baby. "Keep him warm, check for bleeding, no food, just fluids, honey and warm water. Tiny drops, not a smoothie." Right, I had an old bottle of honey in the cabinet. Probably predated the invention of smartphones. But honey never expires, right? I grabbed a turkey baster because that was the closest thing I had to a dropper. And yes, I'm aware of how ridiculous that sounds. I opened the cub's mouth like I was diffusing a bomb made of fur, trauma, and bad life choices. A few drops in, nothing. A few more. Then his tongue twitched, barely, like he was tasting life and thinking about maybe renewing his subscription. I exhaled so hard I almost fell over. "You got this, little guy," I whispered. "Let's confuse some wildlife experts today." I cracked the front door open a few inches. The mother bear looked up. A-Day. Our eyes met again. No roaring, no posturing. Just this weird, calm look like we were two exhausted parents in a pediatric ER. I nodded. Chess nodded back. I don't know if that actually happened or if I was delirious from adrenaline and stale coffee, but I swear she understood. I whispered, "He's still with us, barely." She didn't flinch, just exhaled, this deep, ancient breath that somehow said thank you and don't screw this up at the same time. Inside, the cub twitched again, just a little leg jerk, like he was dreaming of running, or trying to. I swore under my breath and started gathering towels like a deranged IKEA mascot. No plan, no clue, just a flannel-wrapped bear cub, a mother outside, and me, the world's least qualified wildlife medic.